Welcome to this Jefferson City News Tribune forum for candidates seeking 2 seats on the Blair Oaks School Board in the April 6th election. I'm Gary Castor, managing editor of the News Tribune, and will serve as moderator of the forum. The forum is being conducted in a virtual format due to the pandemic. Prior to the forum, the candidates were given copies of the ground rules of the forum, which noted lengths of time for opening and closing statements, as well as time allotments for responses to our questions. The questions were submitted by readers or by staff members of the News Tribune. The questions weren't shared with any candidate before the forum. 3 candidates are seeking 2 school board seats on the Blair Oaks School Board. They are Tim Luebbering, Dale Verslues, and Logan Gratz. Tim Luebbering of Wardsville is the Human Resources Manager for the Osage County R-2 School District. He and his children attended Blair Oaks, and he currently serves as board treasurer. Dale Verslues of Taos is a retired carpenter. He and his children attended Blair Oaks, and his grandchildren now attend. He's running for a 2nd term on the board. Logan Gratz, a real estate agent and auctioneer, is a lifelong Wardsville resident who graduated from Blair Oaks in 2014. So with those introductions done, let's go ahead and begin. We're going to start our opening statement with Tim. So Tim, take it away.
Good afternoon. Again, my name is Tim Luebbering, and I'd like to thank the News Tribune for inviting us to this forum. I'm a lifelong Wardsville resident also. I've been on the school board for 2 years. There's a lot of exciting things going on with Blair Oaks, and I'm running to hopefully keep that direction going. And with the new high school coming up, and we just hired a brand new high school principal, I think it's imperative that we keep our our foot to the gas pedal and keep Blair Oaks shooting in the right direction.
Okay. Dale, your opening statement.
I'm actually a resident of Taos, got Jeff City address. I've lived in Blair Oaks School District all my life. I attended Taos and then Blair Oaks as a high school. My children did the same. I've been involved with Blair Oaks through lots of different things with athletic department, the Booster Club, all that, and also joined on to the school board. I've been on 2 years. I've seen the growth of Blair Oaks from all the way back to wishing to have a football field to having a football field. You've got a middle school now, and with all the challenges and everything, we're at the time now we're working on a high school. We've got the administrators put in place now. It's going to be quite a challenge. We've got another expansion coming in 23. We've got a lot of work to do to put everybody together. Because some of the students will be moving from building to building, so there's going to be several challenges. Of course, we probably went through one of the biggest challenges we'll ever go through, and hopefully this won't be as big. And then, like I say, I've seen the growth of the school, I've seen the growth of the community, and I would like to continue to do so, and running again on this board for this term.
All right, thank you. Logan, your opening statement.
Well, thank you, Gary, and thank you to the News Tribune. I'd also like to thank Tim and Dale for your guys' service to our board and our district and everything going on right now. As you said earlier, I'm a graduate of Blair Oaks. I graduated from Lincoln. I currently serve on the Jeff City Chamber of Commerce board as well. There was many reasons I thought of running, and you know, the biggest one is we see this continued development going on in the district and continually increasing students. With the demand of the district, the success of the district, we're going to continue to grow. And I really want to see this district continue to be successful as we grow. This new high school is going to be a great addition. Back when the board decided that this high school was going to come to fruition, I was asked by a board member to help out with the campaign to get it elected. And I ran the social media campaign for it. And we were luckily able to get it passed. And I just remember my excitement for the district at the time. After I graduated, I had not been that involved with the district in any way. And after that whole process, I really wanted to try to give back to the community, get back closer to the district. And I felt this may be a time to try to do so. So I appreciate you guys having me.
All right. Well, let's get started with our questions. All right, so we'll start with Dale. So the first question is, what brought you to the decision to run? What do you hope to accomplish if you're elected?
Well, I'll go back is the job I had at a given time demanded a lot of time, and I have since retired and allowed me more time. And I'm like most, I've been involved with quite a few of the things, but I've want to get back to the community, and the school is growing, the community is growing. I mean, we've got Taos, Associated Bend, Wardsville, and St. Thomas, and it's all a combined them that is what develops and basically is Blair Oak School District. And I've seen a lot of growth, and personally, I would like to see it going on through and continue to see the growth and be a part of it.
Okay.
That there's obviously a lot of exciting things going on at the district with the new high school, with the developments that are going on. I also, I'm not that far removed from the school. I was one of the first students in that new middle school and kind of understood some of the struggles we had when it was built at the time. I was a student that had to commute from building to building like the current students may have to with this new high school. So I kind of feel I've got a good connection and could be a good voice for the students, and I felt that this may be a good time for it. But I also still know a lot of the educators and administrators in the buildings. I have a lot of great relationships with some of the teachers and those educators and administrators. And I'm heavily involved in the community. I meet a lot of people that move in and out of the district, helping people to get into the district. So I felt I could be a good voice for those people. And the main to what I would want to continue or hope to succeed at is really just to get this new high school going and then get the second phase approved to be able to then hopefully get past the overcrowdedness that we've had and then to move on to the next projects that the district will have.
Okay. Tim, same question.
My decision originally to run 2 years ago was because all of my kids are graduated and have moved out, and I have more time to dedicate and focus to the Blair Oaks School District. And with the building of the new high school, it was just an exciting time to try to get on board and be a part of that. In the last year, we've had to navigate through this whole COVID mess, and that's definitely put us in a lot of financial burdens throughout the year. And I've been here at Osage County R-3 working in the financial and payroll part of it for 8 years now. So I think my experience can help navigate through those times and work with budgets and, with state funding, always questionable, even in a good year. I just think it's important to understand how that money works and how it works with a school district. And I'm hoping to accomplish, like Logan said, this next phase that's coming in a couple of years. I think it's almost as important as the original building project because, it's going to expand our agriculture program, and we just have a lot of good things going, and I just want to be a part of that.
Okay. Let's go to our next question. We'll start with Logan. What do you believe the biggest need is in the school district?
Well, there's a couple needs. I know with now bringing third, fourth, and fifth grade, the board's probably talked about the possibility of needing a playground at the new old middle school now, I should say. Always making sure that we can keep up with technology is something I think is really important, especially after 2020. Making sure that our teachers and our students and our administration have the best technological resources available to them. There's all sorts of technology that can be used in the classroom and outside of the classroom, like we're doing now. Maybe being able to utilize some of these programs on a snow day, for example, where, you may not get a full day's education and it's not going to be the same as an in-seat, but you can be able to get some sort of education to the students. I think those are some of the major, or at least some of the key needs.
Okay. Tim, same question.
And I would agree with Logan on that. And part of our needs is to make sure that we're using our tax dollars as fiscally responsible as we can. We just got a tax increase, and at this point, that's tough on people. So we have to make sure we do our due diligence and get what we can for every dollar that we receive from a taxpayer. And that's a struggle. So it's a struggle trying to add things that would be nice to have. The technology part, I think our administration and teachers did a wonderful job during COVID, but that can be improved on. And we've learned a lot over the last year on how that'll work. And like Logan said, on a snow day, it's not really reasonable to do that now, but hopefully in the future with our advanced technology, we can do that. And technology is very important, and we have to keep up with it.
Okay. Dale, same question.
I would say that probably one of the biggest things is of course, getting through the building. I think one of the biggest concerns that I see now is probably going to be since we're such a large campus and 4 buildings, is the safety of the students going from area to area. I think we need to make sure we've got a good plan there. Again, the technology, the COVID was definitely a situation, and technology is going to help us get through that when necessary. But visual is definitely better than virtual any day of the week. I think so. Those would be my biggest, and also areas for the children to play and stuff like that. But I would say the biggest concern for the next few years is going to be traffic, moving students, building to building, and making sure their safety is all in line and such like that.
Okay. Tim, you touched on this. This is going to be our next question. How would you rate the school district's response to the pandemic? So, for instance, what could have been improved upon, should this continue?
I think in the circumstances, I think our district did a very good job of getting the information to the students with the Chromebooks, get information for them to learn more and keep up. I would agree with Dale. In-seat is a lot better than virtual in any imagination, but we have to be able to take into account those instances when we are going to need it. And I don't know that COVID's going to go away anytime soon. That'd be nice. But making sure that our staff and administration are just up to date on everything we can do to make sure our kids stay educated.
Okay. So going back, you had mentioned the previous response, there are ways that we could have improved upon it. Do you have any specific examples?
I don't, because we haven't really received any testing information back on how our students are comparing with what they have done in the past and comparing it to other schools. And I don't know what the DESE's regulations are going to be and how they're going to quantify that information. I think it's very difficult to know where specifically we need to improve without any kind of testing results.
Okay. Dale, how would you rate the response to the pandemic, and how could we have improved upon it?
I think they, first of all, when it happened, it was bang, it's here, and what are you going to do with it? I think they've done a great job of putting people on the staff in kind of in charge and whatever, and make sure on keeping all the numbers and everything. I think they did an excellent job through some of the holidays to combine days together, so that it would give the buildings time to completely be disinfected, plus the students be gone long enough that you pretty much start out at ground zero. We had quite a few, but I think all through the time they did a real good job of tracking the numbers of students having it to this number of students not in school, and time lost and everything like that. So, and to knock on wood and everything, this last month we've had one, and that happened just the other day. So I think we've done a tremendous job there. I think the cleaning staff, for the janitors, etc., just did a tremendous job of keeping everything up to date. As far as what we could do more, it's going to be, we don't know what the next situation will be. I think we can improve is possibly, is there more efficient ways of doing it, or making sure that we can set up that all students in that. So we've been fortunate that the students haven't lost time to that much time. So, and again, technology is going to be a part of that. That's going to be, we need technology, but let's use that as our last resort in this case. But I think they've done a tremendous job. And I think that maybe our school spacing, maybe a little more prepared. Of course, the class is going to be a little smaller when all this is done. The school, all the students move to their proper buildings and stuff. So there's a few things coming along that are going to automatically help out.
Okay. Logan, same question.
Yeah, I agree with Tim and Dale. And I really commend the school district, the board, and the administration, and Dr. Jones. Moving forward. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the school district did a great job. The school board did, a great job of not only building a high school, but dealing with a pandemic that they couldn't have foreseen. And really thank, our administration and Dr. Jones and everything he does and the commitment that they have. But I think they did a phenomenal job.
Okay. So next question, we'll start with Dale. The school district, actually the Board of Education, recently adopted a resolution opposing a Missouri bill that would expand charter schools and change the distribution of state funds to schools. Do you support the proposed school choice bill, and explain your answer?
Yes, I feel that, even though I went to a private grade school and I went to the high school and my children did the same, I feel that public dollars should be spent on educating everyone. It says it basically in the Constitution and everything. Tax dollars should be spent. Every child should be given an education. I think sometimes if you're not going to have the same standards and everything else, or if they do not meet those standards, our future is the students and the kids. And if we don't invest in them and invest in them good, that's where we're going to head. I mean, I think that we need to make sure that those dollars are spent well. And I think that it's very important that that's our prime thing, is to make sure that they get a good public education. A private education is a person's wishes, but I don't think that everybody should have to pay for that.
Okay. Logan, same question.
Can you repeat it?
Sure. Do you support the proposed school choice bill, of which the school board passed a resolution opposing it? Explain your answer. The school choice bill will expand charter schools and change the distribution of state funds to public schools.
Right. I don't support it. I feel public education is a right to everyone. I feel if we start distributing that money elsewhere, especially at our school district where we have such little available funds, I feel that could put us, back a little bit, and I wouldn't want to put any other public school back. I completely agree with private school and charter schools. I attended St. Stan. I have many friends and family members that attended Helias and other parochial schools and private schools. But I don't personally see a gain in redistributing those public funds.
Okay. Tim, same question.
And I'm with Logan and Dale on this. I do not support it. Parochial schools are a very important part of our education system, and they take pressure off of our public schools. But as most of us know, public schools are terribly underfunded as it is, and it's tough to make the dollars we get stretch to make sure we get good education for the students we have. If we lose some of that money to the private schools, that's going to hurt. And It affects building projects. It affects the instruction materials we can even get to the kids. So I'm all for the importance of all the parochial schools, and we've got some very good ones in our area, but I can't support taking money away from the public schools to help fund that, because to me, that's a choice that a parent makes. Like Logan, I went to St. Stanislaus, and Dale probably went to St. Francis, and it's a part of our education, and it's a valuable part, but that was our parents' choice to send us to there, and we support them outside of taxes. So yeah, that's my feeling on it, that I don't want to take money away from our public schools.
Okay. Let's go to our next question. We're talking about funding of schools. So start with Logan. Given the school district's tax base, what do you perceive the biggest challenges are in funding schools? What would you suggest the community should do to improve the district's funding picture?
Well, I mean, a lot of people, that I work with that come to this area, not only move to this area for the school district, but kind of how we're positioned geographically. Our district is surrounded by the Osage River and the Moral River. It's kind of tucked in a position in the county where you're not far outside Jeff City city limits where most people work, or even Columbia or other towns, but you get more of a rural setting. I think because of that, and because of the limitations of highway traffic, stuff like that, we just don't have a lot of commercial development going on, and I don't foresee any really in the future. Dollar General is a huge addition, and I think they're extremely successful. We've got a few small commercial businesses, but comparing our funding resources to really any other school in central Missouri, other than possibly Russellville or Eugene, we can't compare to Jeff City's commercial base, and I don't think we'll ever be able to. So finding a way to then bring more income, I think the residents of our district really appreciate the fact that we're one of the lowest tax rate school districts in the state. I don't feel we should start continually raising any type of taxes for that. I think it's one of those things that comes with being in this location geographically. I don't know that there's a whole lot of things we can do to change that.
Okay. Tim, same question.
And I would agree with Logan on that. Unfortunately, we're families, and we're farms, and we have a lot of small businesses. We have land that, if we could get some commercial development going, that'd be great. I don't see it happening. So we have to live within our means, and we've raised taxes already. I don't see that happening again for a long time, hopefully. So we just have to tighten our belts and make sure that we get the use out of every dollar to our maximum potential. And sometimes that means doing without some of the nicer things, but the new school we're building isn't fancy, but it's very nice. And, so we had to not cut corners, but we have to look for the best value in anything we do. And that's going to be a struggle as long as we are Blair Oaks.
Okay. Dale, say it.
I definitely have to agree with Logan and Tim both on that. We all work in our time. We work in Jeff City, work Columbia, whatever. So there's really not a hard business or a lot of businesses out here. I think it's somewhere around 90% of our business is personal or residential or whatever. So I'd say about really the only really thing that we can really do is make sure that we keep our standards up high. We've got a very good administration. We've got a very good right now. If people want to move here, they want to be here, and that is our fundamental what we do. That's our tax money and stuff. So I think that's going to be the important thing. We're not going to come to the revenues from commercial business. So we've got to sell ourselves for what we are. And again, the administration does a tremendous job of taking care of our tax dollars. And we just have to keep a tight belt, like Tim said.
Okay. Let's go to our next question. Tim, we'll start with you. The district's in the midst of a large building program. A new high school is being built. The existing buildings are being restructured to accommodate future growth. After this phase of construction is completed, what do you believe the next facility need might be?
I would say hopefully nothing on a large scale. Logan touched on playgrounds. We need to be able to keep our kids safe while they are on our premises. So anything that'll help along with that. We have an SRO that comes around. We have a lot of students now. We have 4 buildings. Will we need to have another SRO at some point just to make rounds and be seen? The playground's good, and it has to be enclosed. We have to be vigilant. I don't foresee any big projects coming up after this second phase, but there's always things that we can strive to get, maybe through fundraisers and stuff like that. I don't see anything big in our future for a while.
Okay. Dale, same.
In my opinion, I'd say what's coming down the pipe more than anything is once we get everybody in these new buildings, is some type of athletic area next to the new high school. In other words, that'd be help keep people traveling from place to place. Students to be able to stay close to where they're at. The other thing is we've got aging buildings. Somewhere through the line, in order to add a lot of this stuff, we're going to have to do some work on the older buildings, get them up to date, and make sure they meet all the qualifications, all the standards, handicap and everything else, and make sure we stay up in that. So I would say ours now is that if we can get into these buildings and possibly look to put part of our activities over by the high school, and then prepare to update the existing of what we got.
Okay. Logan, same question.
I agree with both Tim and Dale. I think, especially once the new high school is open, there's going to be transition of still teachers and students from buildings. I think being able to organize that and trying to limit as many people as have to transfer from building to building as possible is going to be essential. I think with that little intersection right there where you're going to cross from the new high school to the middle school, I think something may need to be looked at there just to improve safety of that. And I agree with Dale. Some of the older buildings are going to need attention. We need to make sure they're up to safety codes, ADA compliant, and really just making sure that all of our campus is safe and up to code, and just kind of keeping up with the times.
Okay. Next question, we'll start with Dale. Are Blair Oaks teachers sufficiently compensated, and what incentives should there be to draw or retain experienced, innovative teachers and staff to the district?
Well, I think at this given time, the administration's done a very good job of keeping up tempo with the average school to school our size. Now, we're not going to be able to compete with the bigger schools and some of the areas that got a lot of commercial or a lot of tax base. We've got to be a little bit more frugal, but I think we're doing pretty good. We're loading some of the teachers up a little bit, at the same time saving a little bit of money. And it would be, I think we're there. I think we're taking care of them. I missed part of that second part of that question.
What incentives should there be to draw or retain experienced and innovative teachers and staff?
I think bringing in tech, keeping up with technology. I think there again is, as we've all said, we've got a very good community, a very strong community. And, when you got people that want to move into the community, it'll also draw your teachers, it draws other people, it draws everything along the way. So I think as long as we, keep that positive, attitude and keep the school number one, keep the students number one, and take care of our patrons as best we can, and everybody work together on it. Things have kind of worked themselves. But I think the biggest thing is we've got a good a good campus, a good facilities and stuff right now, and we're updating. And I think as long as we keep that in line and we try to move as much as we can, we should do pretty good.
Okay. Logan, same question.
Well, I personally don't think any teachers in any school district are paid enough for what they do, because I value education highly. One of the nice parts about Blair Oaks right now, and that has happened, even when I was coming through, is just the atmosphere at the school district. We've got a great administration. Dr. Jones is a great leader. Blair Oaks in itself, it's publicly known, it's a pretty good place to work too. I think that's a pretty good incentive to help retain teachers and try to get some new ones. I know Blair Oaks, doesn't have the funds. That's a part of what we have geographically that we're stuck with, again, that we were talking about with our tax income. But I think Blair Oaks and the atmosphere that it brings in this community is a good incentive to try to hire good educators.
Okay. Tim, same question.
I think Blair Oaks does a very good job comparing to the area districts with our salaries. Like Dale mentioned, the administration has helped that last couple of years to make it a better place financially. I very rarely hear anybody who makes enough money at their job. Teachers are no different than the rest of us. We all want to make more. And if we can compensate them, that's great. But we have to make an environment that they want to come and be a part of. And like Logan mentioned, we have great administration, we have great teachers, we have great students, we have great families. Our discipline referrals at Blair Oaks are minimal for a school our size. And for teachers, that has to be an incentive to come out there, because they know that the students are in the seat to learn, and the parents are behind the teachers to get these students in their seats. So, we can always improve, but I think we're very competitive salary-wise. And if Logan can get some commercial development out there, we'll be all happy.
All right. We'll go to our next Logan quickly. We don't have to land a commercial client.
Right.
All right, Logan, this question goes to you. Do you think the district is meeting its academic benchmarks? Explain.
I do, and I think our excellence and how many years we've had it, the test scores have been real, some of the highest in the state. I think that comes from having great educators. A lot of the educators that are there were there when I went through school, and I do think that the school district is very successful academically.
Okay. Tim, same question.
I agree with Logan. I think we do a very good job academically. We compare very well with all our similar sized schools and the schools in the area. And I've witnessed firsthand while we went through COVID that our teachers go above and beyond to make sure the students have the ability to learn. And I was very impressed with the way they handled the whole situation of being out last year and then going into this year when we've had to sometimes send classes home and kids home. And I think that's what keeps us top in academics is the teachers they provide. They go above and beyond their duty.
Okay. Same question.
I think as a whole, agreeing with Tim and Logan both there, is I think that our academics are doing very well. I think we score very good in the area that in the surrounding schools and everything. And it's been good. We've got a good administration. We've got, real good, excellent leadership. But also what helps is goes back to is we're able to, people are wanting to come here, teachers are wanting to come here somewhat. We, on interviews and such like that, you got a little better draw for the people and et cetera. So I think it's all is a big wrapped up package. But I think we're doing very, very good. I think our administration is doing a great job. The teachers are doing an excellent job. And I mean, like Tim said, they come through a heck of a year this year, and I really appreciate everything they did.
Okay. So the next question, we'll start with Tim. So if the goal of the district is to continually improve the academic skills of Blair Oak students, what's the next academic hurdle the district should pursue? For instance, the district doesn't have a large number of advanced placement classes. It has several dual credit classes. So from a high school perspective, one could argue providing more advanced placement classes or more challenging for that segment of the population. You can make the same argument for middle school, elementary school. What's the academic goals that if Blair Oaks really wants to distinguish itself and push itself farther academically, should it pursue?
And that's a tough question because a lot of it's financially driven. We can try to add more AP classes. We have to be very selective on which classes we accept and which will benefit our children. Sometimes some colleges don't accept those AP courses. So we have to make sure that we get the courses involved that most of our major universities take on. But we also have to keep in mind that we have a lot of students that aren't meant for college. So we need to make sure that career centers and like Lynn State Technical College, we need to make sure that we're getting kids ready for the whole gamut of education. So to me, I mean, we have to have a good mix of AP courses, but we can't just take care of the top end of the students. We have to make sure we educate that entire class.
Okay. Dale, same question.
I would say that, like Tim was saying there too, and it's what classes are affordable. I think technology and picking up and going a little further on technology is very important. Doing surveys years ago, about approximately 60% of the people come back home, is what we call it, or back to their nest. So in this time and everything else, I think your technical schools, your career centers, and a lot of those things are very, very important. Like Tim said, not everybody's cut out for college, and too often they may start into college, not find anything. So they need I don't like to say it a number two. I worked construction all my life, but they need to know that there's other things. And I think these technical schools, Lynn Tech, and that is just very, very important. And, you know, maybe make sure that we stay involved with those groups, Nicholas Career, et cetera, that we're involved in, and things like that, the FFA and stuff, and make sure that we give a more well-rounded student, I guess. But I'd say high tech is going to be very important because so many colleges and everything else are doing everything online. So, I mean, we're going to have to, you know, stay there and keep with that.
Okay. Logan?
Transferring to a different college and they may not be willing to accept it. So I agree, making sure we're getting potential classes, especially if a student's going to pay for it, that's, you know, going to be a benefit for them. You know, one cool thing file my taxes, and she is just going through with them on just basic things they want to know. How do I file my taxes? How do I find a place to rent? How do I build credit? And I think just a lot of those common basic building blocks that you need once you graduate are extremely essential. But I also think, you know, there's a possibility the district's, you know, looking into, you know, some new scoreboards and some new technology with it. That has a lot of possibility that comes with it for possibly, you know, a classroom that expands the FLCN program into maybe we have, you know, video live stream with multiple cameras at a football game or at a basketball game or a volleyball game with actual students that are using that technology, that there's actually sponsorships out there available for them to then possibly go to college and continue to use that technology. So I think just making sure that we look at all opportunities, and I agree in a financial standpoint, make sure we can afford them, but also see, if we got students and a group of them that are interested in something like that, I think we should run with it.
Okay. All right, why don't we go to our closing statements? We're going to start with Dale. You'll have 2 minutes. You can kind of wrap up your thoughts about the race.
Well, for one is I thank News and Tribune for having this. I appreciate Logan and Tim and anybody that shows concerns for helping and helping the community and help the school grow. Like I said before, I've been in the community for a long time. I've been growing with the high school, or the high school with me. They kind of give me a little budget about my age now and then, but we grow together, and we grow to be better and to do better for everyone. I think the most important thing is that we keep in mind is our patrons and the students. No matter what it takes, that's where we're at. If we have to expand and we can afford it, that's what we need to do. We can bring on something more to entice kids to move on to something better. That's what we need to do also. But I think it's very important, definitely to keep it. Number one is the students, like I say, and then, the patrons, and make sure we give them a bang for their buck. And like I say, we're in a community that's going to grow, and we're going to keep growing. And we're going to have to just, I guess, buck it up and grow with them. And hopefully we can keep the school going in that direction.
Okay, thank you. Logan.
Well, just like Dale said, we are going to continue to grow. It's inevitable. The district is in high demand right now. Developers are wanting to continue to develop out here, and they'll probably be very successful doing it. So we got to be able to keep up with rising student numbers, make sure that as we grow, we may have growing pains, but that we limit them, and that we stay as successful as we have been recently. The success of the district it means a lot to me. I love our community. I love our district. I think we've got a great board. We've got a great administration. We have great parents that really enforce education into their kids. And I think that's a big key to the success of the district. I feel being out in the community, knowing a lot of my past clients, and then meeting new people in this community, I could be a good voice for them and for the school district as a whole. So I thank you, Gary, and I thank the News Tribune and Tim and Dale as well.
Okay. Tim.
Yeah. Also, Gary, I'd like to thank you, News Tribune, and Madeline for setting this up, and Logan and Dale for the conversations today. I want to be on the school board again. I think we have a great thing going out here in Wardsville, and living in these communities, you see it every day, and you want to be on board to keep that happening. I appreciate that we have somebody challenging us for our school board positions, because that shows there's interest in what's happening here. And that's always a good sign when you have people that are willing to step up and help their community and help this school grow and continue to move forward.
All right. I want to thank you for appearing in today's show. Now through the April 6th election, we'll be accepting questions for these guys. The questions can be emailed to vote@newstribune.com. In the remaining weeks before the election, we'll be publishing answers to the reader questions, as well as stories on all of the contested races in the Jefferson City area. Our coverage will culminate with a reader's guide on Sunday, April 4th. Our goal through these forums, the stories, and the question and answer columns is to help you, the voter, make an informed decision on April 6th. We encourage you to take advantage of these resources, share them with your friends and family, and then get out and vote. So, gentlemen, thank you again for appearing in the forum today.
Logan, Dale, Gary, thank you.
All right. Have a good evening.